Next thing we did want to cover is some common objections that we actually deal with on a pretty regular basis. So, first one is the interest rate climate. This is something that's getting brought up obviously a lot with the Fed kind of holding where they're at. So, more groups were expecting rates to drop later this year. Our understanding, as well as more groups as time goes on, is that it's going to be staying where it's at for quite some time, unless there's something drastic that's going to be changing the environment. The next one is someone in my family, a relative, a friend has a real estate license. They typically want to participate in the deal or offer some advice. Usually it's someone who might be, let's call it a part-time residential agent, and they don't necessarily know the nuances of the complexities of a commercial real estate transaction. Obviously, it's two completely different industries. I think I've been saying for a while now that there needs to be two separate licenses for commercial and residential, but
There really should be.
yeah, I'll be lobbying soon, so don't worry.
Yeah. And a lot of people do want to help out people that they know, which is understandable. But
Yeah.
if you're a seller, if you're a landlord, just make sure you're picking someone who's qualified for the job,
Yeah.
somebody that's specialized in that area. And if they have connections with nearby businesses or nearby owners, that's only going to help you.
Exactly. You've got to know the market in and out, as opposed to someone who's doing it maybe more casually.
Exactly.
Next one is if you're a seller, they don't necessarily want to pay capital gains tax. There's a few options that are really common. The most common is the 1031 exchange. I'm not going to get into the exact nuances of that, but obviously if you sell a property and then identify another one, you can defer those capital gains as well, which is really nice. The second one that's been increasingly popular over the last couple of years, especially with interest rates climbing, is seller financing. I know we've talked about that a lot, but if you are the seller, you can become the bank on the property and limit your liability and spread it out over a few years as opposed to one large sale transaction, which is really nice. And then the third one is a Delaware statutory trust, similar to a 1031 exchange, where you can exchange into a fund of, let's call it 100 or even a couple thousand properties. It could be a portfolio of retail buildings, industrial properties, or just mixed asset classes as well. Essentially, you're taking a more passive approach and a back seat being a partner in this. And if you're looking to essentially get mailbox money, this is a really good option.
Yeah. Another objection we get quite a bit is I'm getting 5% on my money in a money market account.
Yep.
Why would I go buy that deal? And obviously, buying real estate has its own advantages. A couple of them being appreciation. The building's going to appreciate over time, especially if you hold it for long enough. There's tax benefits with depreciation, and you're also getting those annual escalations in the rent. So you're only going to be earning more income over time. And the other thing to consider is the federal funds rate probably isn't going to be this high forever. I know
Yep.
they're talking about reducing the rate at some point in the future here, which is probably going to mean you're going to get less interest on that money. And so you want to start thinking more about the long-term plan, especially considering that there's, according to an article by Investment Company Institute, as of February, there was over $6 trillion in a money market accounts.
Wow.
And so as that money starts to make its way into other assets like real estate and stocks, chances are it's probably going to inflate those values.
Yeah,